What's going on, guys? It's Red here back on the channel, and tonight, well, yeah, so in the morning, it's already gonna be 1 o'clock when I'm making this video. Yeah, last night already, which was April 2nd. Yesterday was the first night of WrestleMania 38, which is night 1. So yeah, it wasn't that bad. But the only match that got me bored was Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship, and let me tell you, I got bored. So yeah, that was the first time I got bored with that match. Yeah, and Dallas was very dead during that match. It was very quiet. So yeah, anyways, enough of that. Let's get for the first match. The Usos versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Great Boots SmackDown Tag Team Championship match, which is the opener for SmackDown for WrestleMania 38. After the 2-hour pre-show and the usual song and dance to get the main show started, Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boots made their way out to battle the Usos for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships and the first official match of WrestleMania 38. The former Intercontinental Champion came out of the gate hot and stayed on Jey Uso with some stiff kicks, once Jimmy and Jey got him cornered they started controlling the pace with double team attacks. The Usos did their usual routine of keeping the babyface isolated until he was able to tag in his fresh opponent to clean house, but Boots ended up hurting his knee when he tried to hold both brothers on the shoulders, so Nakamura was left to fend himself. After hitting a few moves, Jimmy and Jey finished the King of Strong style off with the 1D for the pin. This was a decent match tag team, but it did not feel like a WrestleMania level encounter. This seemed like something we could have seen on SmackDown any week of the year. This feud might not be over, especially when you look at how light the tag team division is on the blue brand at the moment. So yeah, Rick Boogs got injured like really bad during the match when he was carrying the Usos and stuff, and that's how he got injured. Yeah, hope he feels better, So, yeah. Anyways, let's get to the second match. Happy Corbin versus Drew McIntyre. Madcap Moss accompanied Happy Corbin to the ring for his match against Drew McIntyre. These two men have faced each other over a dozen times in different situations, so many fans went into this match hoping this would be the final chapter of their story. The Scottish Warrior tried to keep the upper hand right away with some big punches, but Corbin is a former Golden Gloves boxer and did not go down without a fight. They had a good pace going for a few minutes, but they slowed it way down once Corbin began to dominate the action. An accidental distraction from Madcap allowed McIntyre to hit a spinebuster and begin his comeback. The Scot became the first person to kick out of the End of Days and then hit his patented Claymore kick for the win. McIntyre threatened Madcap with his sword afterward and ended up cutting 2 of the ring ropes instead. While it had a couple of slow points, this was possibly the best match Corbin and McIntyre have had during this feud. They had good physicality and helped each other look good. Yeah, so Drew McIntyre defeated Happy Corbin, and the Usos defeated Shinsuke Nakamura and Bray Boogs, and yeah, Drew McIntyre defeated Happy Corbin in the second match. So yeah. Alright, let's get to the third match. The Miz and Logan Paul versus Dominik and Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio. I can't stand Logan Paul at all. I can't fucking stand him. So cringeworthy. Okay, Rey and Dominik Mysterio made their way out to warm welcome as they prepared. Oh, let me move this real quick. As they prepared to take on The Miz and his influencer friend Logan Paul. After a low jaw jacking, The Miz and Rey started for their teams, and Paul showed his heel side early by distracting Rey long enough for the A-lister to get the upper hand. Paul had a few moments in the ring with Rey before The Miz and Dom tagged in and started going at it. Once the heels had control again, they kept Dominik isolated by cutting the ring in half. After what McIntyre did, it feels necessary to point out they did not actually cut the ring in half. So yeah, before that match, after McIntyre, he cut the ropes and stuff, and man, kind of scared the shit out of me. I kind of jumped a little bit when that happened. So all right, Paul hit Rey. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, guys. Paul hit Rey with a Guerrero signature, the three amigos suplexes, and the crowd booed more than you would have thought possible. Rey and Dom hit him with a double 619 followed by two frog splashers, but The Miz spoiled their ending by making a blind tag and hitting Rey with his finisher for the win. As they were celebrating their huge win, The Miz hit Paul with the skull-crushing finale. The crowd popped, and we may have just watched him turn babyface whether he wants to or not. Yeah, so as so annoying and controversial as Paul can be, there is no denying he put in the work to make sure he did not embarrass himself here. Not only did he hold his own, but he also had a few impressive moments. Give me a fucking break. This was a typical celebrity match, but Rey and The Miz, being the veterans they are meant, it had a little extra shine on it. Expectations for this were low before the event, so it's safe to say this bout exceeded them very well. So yeah. I can't stand Logan Paul or his brother, like, at all. So, yeah. Alright, let's get to the fourth match. Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair Raw Women's Championship match. Alright, this was a good match. I liked this one. This was a good match. Alright, let's get to it then. The fourth match. WWE Chief Brand Officer Stephanie McMahon came out to introduce Gable Stevenson between matches. This was just a quick way for the ramp before we got to the Raw Women's title bout. The company gave both women special interests for this rematch. Lynch had a Marvel-inspired video play before she came out, while the EST of WWE was played to the ring by a marching band. The bell rang, but neither woman rushed to lock up. They took in the huge ovation from the crowd before Belair extended her hand as a sign of respect. Lynch slapped it away and hit the manhandle slam for a close 2 count shortly afterward. After the EST escaped a repeat of her swift SummerSlam defeat, she had to kick out of several more attempt pins. She used Lynch's own submission against her, but was unable to make her tap out. They took the fight out of the ring, and Big Time Bex sent her challenger into the steel steps. After failing to get the win with the beautiful 450 splash, Belair took a manhandle slam onto the steps to keep the fight as competitive as possible, right up until the end. When the EST hit the KOD for the win, the crowd erupted as she was handed the belt. So yeah, Bianca Belair defeated Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship. About fucking time, because Becky Lynch was getting on my nerves. Becky cringe, I mean, you can say it like that. So yeah, this match was good. I enjoyed this match. It was a good match. Alright. Seth, you already know already. After, this is the fifth match. So, who was Seth Rollins' opponent? Cody Rhodes. So yeah, Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins. This was a good match too. I enjoyed this one. After a video package recapped Seth Rollins' journey to WrestleMania, he came to the ring looking like the happiest man on the planet. He had an entire choir singing his entrance music on stage. After some pyro went off and the lights went down, Cody Rhodes' music hit and he made his way out to a huge pop from the fans. He looked elated to be back in front of the WWE Universe. But Rollins did not seem to share the crowd's feelings. The American Nightmare controlled the first couple of minutes and showed off for the crowd a bit. The Visionary got in a few good shots before he and Rhodes started brawling. The match was a fantastic display of what you would call big match wrestling. They played to the crowd, sold the big spots, and made each other look like $1,000,000. Rollins was a perfect choice to be Rhodes' first opponent back in WWE. The story here seemed to be that these two were equal in almost every way. They carried each other several times to show they knew each other's playbook. Even though this was Rhodes' big return, it was not a one-sided fight. Rollins made him work for his win. After both men failed to put each other away with several of their biggest moves, Rhodes picked up the victory by hitting the crossroads twice, followed by a series of jabs with a bionic elbow and a third crossroads to seal the deal. This was a fantastic way to make his return. It's great to see the grandson of a plumber back in WWE, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens with him next. Yeah. So, this was a good match. Cody Rhodes defeated Seth Rollins, which was a 6-year return. So, yeah, Cody Rhodes has been gone since 6 years. Yep. Sorry, I don't know what to say, but yeah, this was a good match. So, alright, let's get to the boring match. Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey SmackDown Women's Championship match. And this was a 6th match. So, yeah. After a long break with several video packages and the Hall of Fame acknowledged, Ronda Rousey made her way to the ring to challenge Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. As soon as they locked up, it was clear this was going to be a physical exchange. They were not trying to make anything look smooth or pretty. This was about making it look like they were having a fight. The Queen focused a lot of her offense on Rousey's leg to set herself for the fight. For the figure 8, Ronda used the more comprehensive approach with her offense and focused on dishing out as much damage as possible. They did a good job making this feel competitive, but it didn't quite reach the level WWE was probably hoping for. And it's hard to say exactly what was missing, but it felt like there was something this match needed to push it over the edge. Maybe it went a little too long, or maybe it just fell short of the 2 bouts that preceded it. This was one of the top 3 matches of the night, though. They worked their butts off to make sure this was not just another forgettable chapter in their long-running feud. When the dust settled, Flair scored the win with a big boot to retain. Yeah, well, the fans were like dead, like during this match. Like you can tell none of them didn't barely stand up or anything. So, yeah, I don't know what to say, but whatever. Alright, let's get to the main event. Kevin Owens versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. WWE cut the New Day versus Sheamus and Rich Holland for a time, so we went from Rousey versus Flair to the KO show to close night 1 of WrestleMania. It took a long time to get to the actual segment because WWE played several video packages that recap this entire storyline, which is kind of impressive because there weren't much to the story. Oh, so they cut the New Day and versus Sheamus and Rich Holland like at the last minute. Wow, I'm sure they were pissed backstage. Alright, anyways, as fans, we can say whatever we want about WWE making the decision to close night 1 with the talk show segment. The fact of the matter is, Owens just closed WrestleMania with Stone Cold Steve Austin. There are thousands of wrestlers who would have killed to be in his position. KO talked some trash before Stone Cold came out to a major ovation to give his response. He took his time getting to the ring by playing to the crowd several times. He seemed a little surprised that Owens actually wanted to have a conversation. After some more insults, KO officially challenged the veteran to a no-holds-barred match. Surprisingly, Stone Cold accepted it and called a ref down to make it official. The bell rang and they had a stare down in the middle of the ring before Austin started unloading on him in the corner. They fought all around the arena, into the crowd, and up to the stage. Both men took suplexes on hard surfaces, and a couple of tables were broken along the way. After Austin kicked out of KO's stunner and avoided a chair shot, the rattlesnake hit his own stunner for the win. Was this a classic match that will be studied for years? Absolutely not. However, oh wow, that hurt my feelings. However, it was fun, entertaining, and memorable at the end of the day. That this what it takes to make a WrestleMania moment. KO got his own Saturday, even if he didn't come out on top. The segment out delivered in the best possible way. After as a whole night 1 of WrestleMania ended exceeding expectations. A couple of results were generally shocking. We saw a few match of the year contenders, and Austin worked his first match in almost 2 decades. Not too shabby. This was a good match. I enjoyed it. So yeah, don't fuck with Texas. So we'll whoop your ass if you talk shit about Texas and shit and mess with us. So yeah, like, you know. And after the match was over, the police escorted Kevin Owens out of the building. So at the arena and stuff. So it was funny. So yeah, I liked it. It was good. Oh hell yeah. Yeah, so that was a good match. Yeah, Stone Cold Steve Austin, yeah, 70-something% seconds for letting people call you an asshole and stuff, and Stone Cold Steve Austin that if you want me get this piece of shit to fight this piece of shit Kevin Owens, give me a hell yeah and all that stuff. So it was funny. I enjoyed it. So yeah, anyways, so yeah, Stone Cold Steve Austin defeated Kevin Owens. And he just whipped Kevin Owens' ass like a little kid and stuff. It was funny. But I liked it. It was good and stuff. And yeah, so that was night 1 of WrestleMania 38. So yeah, after WrestleMania 2, I'll be doing that review. Because the main event will be, for night 2, will be Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, champion versus champion, winner takes all. So yeah, it's supposed to be the biggest match of all time. So yeah, anyways, that was it, and I'll see you all in the next video. Laters and good night.